Hello everybody and welcome to this video where I'll be taking a look at a major winter storm which will start bringing impacts to the Northeast tonight. And this could be a really big winter storm for the Northeast with up to 20 inches of snow in some spots. So please leave a like on this video if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you do like this type of content. So now let's get into the video. This is the IR satellite, and the thing you should pay attention to here is this spin. This is what's going to be the nor'easter. This spin is going to move across the Midwest and form a secondary low off the coast of the mid-Atlantic, and it's going to move right over the 4070 benchmark. If you don't know what the 4070 benchmark is, it is basically the Goldilocks zone for a nor'easter. And if it moves over that, the big East Coast cities such as New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C., if a storm moves over that benchmark, they are most likely going to get all snow from this. And it looks like it's going to move either right over the benchmark or 20 miles to either side. It's still, the track is not 100% certain, even though we're only a day out from the storm actually starting. But we do have a good look at what's going to happen at this point. There is still some model disagreement though. Here is the spin, and you could see there is spin over northern Texas entering Oklahoma, and it's sort of elongated at this point, but all the spin's going to concentrate in this area over here. So it's going to move eastward like I said, and this could be a pretty big storm for parts of the Northeast. And the exciting thing is this could bring some major snow to parts of I-95 too. Here's the GFS model, and as you can see, move it forward, and snow should get into Philadelphia starting tomorrow evening, probably between the 2 and 4 p.m. The snow should enter Philadelphia. Then New York City around 7 to 9 p.m. That's when the snow should enter New York City. Boston will be a little bit delayed, and you could see, I don't know why, but these models, the low pressure is well offshore, but they are showing the rain creeping up into New York City for some reason. Just near New York City. Stay south, but just near. This is not really a storm for Boston. Boston's probably going to get anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, but first off, their snow starts Monday evening, so it starts very late. There's just going to be a lot of dry air in place, preventing the storm from going too far north. There's going to be a pretty sharp cutoff in parts of upstate New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. There's going to be a pretty sharp cutoff from north to south. And it looks like Boston is going to get some rain. It's going to start out as snow. Let me check the soundings here in Boston. It's going to start out as snow, and then here it's going to change over, to rain. The temperature will be 37 degrees. So it is going to be below freezing, and then the surface is going to be 37. So they're probably not going to get sleet or freezing rain, but they're going to get rain. They're going to get snow switching over to rain, and then it looks like at the back of the storm is going to go back to snow in Boston. So the GFS model is not really that bullish on the storm. You could take a look at the snowfall forecast, and like I said, Boston's going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, maybe even 2 inches. Coastal areas, New York City could expect anywhere from 5 to 8 inches according to the GFS, and Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia look like they're getting the most. With Philadelphia, it looks like it's going to get around 7 to 8 inches, and Washington, D.C. 7 to 8 inches as well. So this looks more like a Washington to New York City storm more than a Boston storm at this point. But there is one model that is extremely bullish on snowfall near Philadelphia. It shows Philadelphia getting like 25 inches of snow, and we're going to take a look at that model very soon. So here is the NAM 12KM model, and this model is sort of an outlier at this point. It shows the snow starting early, this is around 7 o'clock for parts of Philadelphia. The GFS showed it starting around 4 p.m. This model shows starting in Philadelphia around 2 p.m., 3 p.m., so that's an extra hour early. And then you can see it continues, and one thing that this model shows is for New York City, this model is very different. It shows the rain snow line staying south of the city. And I think the NAM model actually has it a little better, right? Because there's something I don't understand about the other models that are showing specifically for New York City. The NAM model shows the rain snow line staying south. That is because the storm is going to be drawing in colder air, its own cold air. It's called dynamic cooling. It's going to be drawing in its own cold air from, first off, it's going to be creating its own dynamic cooling. When it snows, the snow cools the atmosphere, and the winds are going to be coming from the northeast, which is going to be bringing down very cold air from Maine, which I don't see how the rain snow line makes it north into New York City. And the NAM shows that it stays all snow, especially here. Some models at this frame around Monday night, they show New York City changing over to rain. The NAM model keeps it all snow, and this actually makes sense. The winds are going to be coming from the northeast, like I said, and even actually the northeast at this point. They're coming into the low pressure. Usually they don't come in exactly how these millibars present. They come in sort of diagonally, like this, and this is going to most likely keep New York City as all snow, but there are some models, I don't know how they come up with it, but they show New York City changing over to rain for 4 to 6 hours during the storm. But that is sort of very outrageous. So, speaking of outrageous, this would be an outrageous blockbuster snowstorm for New York City. Snow starting around a Sunday evening. It snows the whole day Monday, very heavy snow bands Monday afternoon into the evening. Then a moderate snow Tuesday, the whole day Tuesday you get moderate snow over New York City, and then eventually it shuts down Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. So this would be a 2.5 day event for New York City if the NAM model is true, and this is how the NAM model comes up with its major totals, like you see here. 18 inches for places just north and west of New York City. New York City looks like it will get 15 inches from this, so the NAM model, if that comes true, it's an outlier, but I agree with the NAM model more than any other model at this point. Here's a look at what I mean by it's producing its own cold air. Watch the HDRPS model. First off, for some reason, it brings in the snow into New York City much later than expected. And it doesn't even fill in. Watch this. This is already Monday morning, and there's just snow showers. The storm has like very little moisture with it, according to this model. I don't see how this is possible. There is a 1,000 millibar nor'easter off the coast, and it has very little it just has scattered showers basically around it. This is very weird what the HRDPS is showing. This is a very, very weird model run, and this is why it only shows a snow shower over New York City and even Philadelphia. This basically consists of storm of scattered snow showers Monday morning. This is very weird. I definitely do not agree with this model. There is no way there's going to be a nor'easter that only produces scattered showers and snow showers. No way. The RGM model also is a little weird this new run. Last few runs, it was showing extreme snowfall for Philadelphia. It was showing 30 plus inches, and it still is, except now it shifted further southwest. This is the model that I was talking about that's showing extreme forecast amounts, snowfall amounts, and I do not agree with this. And same as the HDRPS, look, New York City, just scattered snow showers. This is very weird. And I live in New York City, so I'm very excited for this storm. But seeing models like the HRDPS and the RGEM showing this is sort of upsetting. The NAM is the best model if you're a snow lover in New York City at this point. And eventually it does bring the snow into New York, but then watch this. At this point, the winds are going to be coming from the northeast, and watch this. New York City changes over to rain. I just don't see this happening. The winds are coming from Maine. How could the warm air make it all the way this far north? The winds are literally coming out of the northeast. I do not see this happening. But even if it does switch over for like 6 hours like this model is showing, this would switch over like around Tuesday morning and then back to snow Tuesday afternoon to the early evening. So even if this would happen, you still would get huge totals. And look at this. Look at these snowfall totals south and west of New York City. Just north of Washington, D.C. would get 30 inches. Just north and west of D.C., 37 to 40 inches of snow. Look at this color just north and west of D.C. That is bright white. let's look at the code. That is 40 to 44 inches of snow just north and west of DC. So if you live in Washington, DC and you're a snow lover, you should be rooting for the RGEM model. However, if you're in New York City and you're a snow lover, you should be rooting for the NAM model at this point. New York City does get some snow, but it's going to get rain mixing in, so the final total wouldn't be 9 inches like it's saying. It would be more like 5 inches, and slushy 5 inches, so I do not agree with the RGEM. I agree more with the NAM, but I guess we'll have to see. Now, finally, this is the NAM 3KM, and the NAM model is showing, the NAM 12KM is showing consistent snow, and so is the 3KM is a little bit weird. It brings in the snow like the NAM at 8 o'clock for New York City and the GFS, but the NAM, like the RGEM, it brings in like scattered snow showers. It starts at 8 p.m. but look at this. There's a snow shower here. You go in like into the Bronx. There's no snow. Long Island has very little snow. There's a snow shower up in Dutchess County. It is the NAM 3KM is more scattered in nature, but then it just brings in very heavy bands and fills in very quickly. So the NAM 3KM is acting more like the NAM 12KM, but that makes sense. So the NAM 3KM eventually brings in the very heavy snow into New York City, and it doesn't show any changeover happening. So the NAM models are showing pretty big snow event. And you can see this only goes out 60 hours, so this is only about half the storm. But even in this half of the storm, it shows New York City getting 12 inches, 11 inches, 17 inches north and west. So the NAM model is the most bullish for New York, and we'll just have to wait and see. I'll probably be making a time-lapse video from my house for the storm, probably Monday, so I probably will be doing it like during when the worst snow bands are coming in, so please check out my channel. Please subscribe if you want to see that. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.